Lucinda, what is the title of your piece with Philip Glass and Sol LeWitt? We needed it yesterday. And I said, okay. It's going to be dance. She said, dance? Dance. Okay, dance. I began working with Philip Glass in 1976, Einstein on the Beach. It was my first time to work with a composer, to be in a proscenium theater. We had been in alternative spaces, and it was a huge transition for me to work in this way. And what was interesting was to go on and off the music, to create a dialogue, and I call it tension. But it's deliberate false downbeats, all kinds of things, but I always know where I am exactly in the music, so I always can come back to a certain specific place. And the same is true in dance. It's really the same system, only it's much more complicated because there's 8 dancers. The structure of the piece, first it comes from Philip. He gave me the first ensemble piece, dance, we call it dance number 1. And what happens is I listen to it, and I move in the studio, and I sort of block out different ideas. And then the dancers arrive, and I show them some of the movement, and then I structure it, and then I start with making a score, connecting the physical dance phrases with the musical score, so the dancers, so we start building something that's set. That's the process that I've always used, actually, with his music. My first discussions with Sol, when he said, quite frankly, Lucinda, I'd love to work with you, but I don't understand, since we both work in an abstract way, what would be the point of my creating some kind of structure or design that you dance in front of? He said that doesn't make sense to me, and I agreed, absolutely. And for a while we decided to think about it and ended up with the solution that décor should be the dancers. I worked with Lyon Opera Ballet. I said, if you really want dance, we have to redo the film, because my dancers from 1980 and your dancers from today, it's just not going to work. And it was a huge undertaking, frame by frame. I mean, it's absolutely an exact copy, and it had to be like that. Otherwise, I just wouldn't want to do it. And in the old days, there were a lot of people very disturbed by the work. They even threw eggs at us, poor dancers. And I had to say that the dancers, well, they don't sell eggs in the lobby. So whoever this is has decided before they see us that they don't like it. That was my explanation. Now people say, oh, it's beautiful, which is great. I mean, I'm delighted. But I think they're involved in the conceptual process. They understand something's happening here. It's not just the same thing over and over again. Something very subtle is going on.